I'm going to take us all the way back to 2009. 2009, I was fixing and flipping my very first house. All right. And so this paint job, look at this. This is like a feather paint. This is apparently popular in the 70s. This was enough to be a scary paint job all in itself. But you can see me here in my overalls. I've got the primer paint in my hand and I'm working on this. It's a Saturday in the fall. I'm listening to the Vols. In 09, we were probably winning, or maybe we were losing. I don't even know. But this is me painting this wall. And the scariest part about this picture in particular is that I spent all day Saturday painting this wall. On Monday, the wall came down. So please check with your contractors to make sure that you know what's about to happen and you don't waste an entire Saturday doing a job and perfecting it and getting in all the little corners and lining it out just to have them come through with a sledgehammer on Monday and tear it all down. Get a plan and stick to it, okay? This was the toilet at this house, and I don't know if you can see, but this is the tile that comes up in the bathroom, and that's the pee that had never been cleaned off the wall that had sprayed out of this toilet for about 11 years. If you've not been a fix and flipper or you've not gone in a stinky house, like when Kendra said that she walked in that room and it stunk, oh no, it's the room next door, I could smell that because I have been in nasty, stinky, moldy houses before. And if you haven't, y'all, that's better than any scary house you're gonna go to over the next couple weeks. Go find you a good stinky cat house just to know what that's like. It's like no other. But yeah, this light blue toilet had to go. This is the other bathroom in that house. And this is after we pulled the floor up. Also had the same tile on the wall, had the same splatter. But do you see, this is a air vent. This is where the air conditioner comes in. Can you see this right here? It's like kind of under that toilet. But do you see this ring around it? It's not supposed to look like this. This is regular plywood, but this ring right here around this air vent looks like that because these people had a young boy. And instead of teaching him how to pee into the toilet because it was taller than he could reach, they just taught him to pee into the air vents. Not the pets, not the cats, not the dogs, the child. They taught the kid to pee into the air vents. So yeah, we had to rip this whole bathroom out. We ended up ripping this wall out right here, which was this side of the wall. The bathrooms came up kind of back to back. It was a nasty, nasty disaster. And these are the two bathrooms that I was working with the day I was painting that wall that came down. Hold on, let me go back a slide. Okay, so I want to also tell you here right now that this house was the very first house my mom bought in 1979. All right, 1978. My parents were born in, married. They were married in 1979. I think she bought this house in 1978. So when they got married, they moved into this house. And this is the house that we were living in when I was born. So I talk a lot about generational wealth because I was raised as a real estate investor's kid. The way Kendra is raising her kid, you saw Jackson out in the front yard playing ball at a fix and flip house. That was me growing up, all right? I lived in this house. I was born in 1984. We lived there until 78. So they lived in this house for 10 years. But I remember I told you at the beginning that this was me in that house in 2009. So when my brother came along and my parents wanted a bigger house, they were like, Kendra, they were buying stuff and they said, well, we'll just move into it if we have to. They ended up buying a house at auction. It was my grandparents' house. They bought it from my dad's siblings. And we moved into the bigger house. But here's the key, y'all. My mom didn't sell the original house. She just kept it and rented it out. They rented it to friends, they rented it to family, they rented it to actually an attorney who was going through law school and couldn't pay for a while, so they gave him free rent for a while. he actually helped me with a little situation I got into in college. So sometimes free rent is a good thing. It comes back later. Okay. But they hadn't been to check on this house in 11 years. They had tenants in this house for 11 years. All right. So Dan told you to check on your contractors once a week. Just pop in and see how they're doing. My mom collected rent from these people for 11 years. We didn't check on it. We didn't go look at it. As long as they were making the payment, we were just focused on what we were doing. But then I was turning 25 and I said, I got to get out of here. I got to get my own place. And mom said, we'll move you into our rental house. So some people say, they tell me all the time that their landlord's kicking them out because the landlord's kid wants to move in. Hi, that was me. I was the landlord's kid and I wanted to move in. But the condition we found the house in, nobody could have lived in it. Nobody could have lived in this house. I didn't say this earlier, but I want to point it out to you now. This was carpet. And you can still see the carpet right here in this bathroom. That'll help you identify the stink that we were dealing with in this house. All right. So no, this isn't the worst house that I've seen. And no, these aren't the worst pictures of this house that I have, but there's a whole lot of lessons in checking your contractors, but also checking up on your tenants at least once a year just to see what's going on. And my favorite way to check up on tenants, because I don't want to go look at this, I send the bug guy over to spray for bugs, or I send the air conditioner guy to go change the air vents. That's my favorite way to check up on tenants, because I don't actually have to do it, and they'll go in and they'll see things. All right, and then they tell me about it, and then I can do whatever I need to do. These people just weren't taking good care of this house, and so we took it back. This is another house that I looked at buying, and this is the bathroom. You can see the door right here, and the woman and her daughter that were living in this house would just step on the trash and get in, do their business in the bathroom, and then come back out. People really live in these houses, all right? And I'm not showing you these pictures to scare you, or if this is what you're doing with your house. This isn't, I'm not downing anybody. But if you're gonna be a real estate investor, I want you to go ahead and see what some people are living with right now so that you won't be surprised. I don't want you to get caught off guard when you walk in these houses and they stink, or it's a hoarder situation, or it's a scary situation. I'll tell you another house that I don't have in this slide presentation, but I don't go in basements anymore. I don't check crawl spaces. I don't check attics. When I do an inspection on a house, I just do a general visual. I'll send an inspector back if I actually want to see what's going on, but I don't go in basements, because I was looking at a hoarder house like this one on the right, and the guy was a creep and asked me if I wanted to go in the basement. Honestly, y'all, I was scared I was going to become a statistic and nobody was going to find me anymore. All right. So if you're in an uncomfortable situation and it is actually scary, your gut says don't go in the basement, for the love of everything, do not go in the basement. All right. If the house looks like this on the main level, I promise the basement is trash too. You don't need to see it. Get back out of there. Tom says that he had a scary story too. He just replaced 27 floorboards, 4x8s, in the living room and den because of dog pee. The smell is horrendous. Also on this house, the one that I bought, I didn't buy the hoarder one, but mom and dad's house that I moved into, I lived there for 9 years. We fixed it, but they had a closet in the front living room that they didn't even put a litter box in. They just let the cats go do their business in there, and then they just put fresh litter on top of it. And so it was like knee deep in kitty litter from years ago. It's gross. It's gross. Kendra said that she had pee in an air vent one time from an elderly person that was in their bedroom. I can just imagine. These things happen though, all right? And if you're gonna be a real estate investor, I just want you to see it here so that when you go in and you see it in real life, don't let it scare you, all right? Kendra and Dane and I will all tell you scary stories of we got in and we did the deal. We went through some scary situations, but we came out the other side and we learned a lot. All right. And that's what you'll learn too.